fellow man. Jazz, check it out. Come on. I hooked you up into the tribal dance. Come on. Check it out.
Hey! I was trying to get it on my laptop, but it didn't work out, so I had to get the phone.
Oh, no.
I couldn't.
Oh,
Yeah, I couldn't refresh your thing on my laptop, so you know.
It's fine. You're here now.
What's up, Jay? What's going on?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you? How have things been for you? And are you on holiday still?
No, well, I'm in between. I was going out with my kids, going around Europe a little bit, and
wow.
And tomorrow I'm leaving with my girl somewhere to Spain. So you know.
Oh, nice. What's the weather like? I bet it's nicer than here.
Well, the weather is rainy here now. I'm in Poland at the moment, so.
Oh God, yeah. So no. Well, I said thank you so much for doing this with me, Ray. I really do appreciate it. I know you're a busy man. How has lockdown been treating you? How has it been for you?
Yeah, you know, it's been, of course, in the beginning was kind of hard, you know, because normally, of course, you're traveling every weekend, but you kind of get used to it. So you got time for other things in life, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Have you used it as like, I know a few people, I don't know if you saw, I chatted to Doris yesterday from 5 Star, absolute gem, like so lovely. And she said that one thing she's found, and a lot of people have found, is they've used the time to like reflect on a lot of things and create.
That's right.
You know, create. Have you found that as well? Have you been able to create more stuff, or have you used it just?
Yeah. I'm always creative, you know. But I got 3 kids also. So one older one, he's already 24, and I got 2 younger ones. So for them it was a different experience because normally, you know, you don't spend that much time. So you know, you're just being more of a family man. Of course, keep creating and, you know, making plans for when everything is opening again. Because, you know, last year we were supposed to do like 100 shows, and, you know, you kind of miss out on this because, you know, you're always on the road and always traveling. So that was kind of like, you know, something you can do like everybody in the world. You know, I'm not going to say it's only me, but, you know, everybody's experienced the same thing. Yeah. But it's kind of different, you know.
Yeah.
Of course, we keep moving, and, you know.
Do you think because, like, I know I teach a lot of kids and stuff, and from chatting to the parents, there's been a few parents, obviously you being a parent as well, have said it's almost been nice that they've had this time to kind of see some of what they've missed out on, and actually that when they go back to work, they're going to try and make more of a conscious effort to have more family time and do the things that, rather than spreading yourself so thin.
Of course. Yeah, no, that's true. Because normally everybody's living in the fast lane. Doesn't matter what kind of job you do. You know, everybody's kind of, you know, in these kind of days with, you know, everything's going fast. So you got more times to, you know, look at things and relative to things like, okay, what is this? What is this? As is normally, you know, the weekend I'm traveling, coming home, I got the kids, preparing for the next weekend. So it's never a dull moment. You know, you always, you know. So, you know, it sets you down, and I think this whole thing that happened is a message, you know, if you believe in God or whatever you want to call it, to tell the world, you know, relax, settle down, let's go back to basic, you know, the phone and the this and the traveling and the money and the, you know, sit your ass down, and, you know, let's go back to the basic and learn and appreciate the things you got in life. Yeah. And now everybody, we have to do it. So, you know, it's a good lesson, I think. You know,
I saw a quote recently, and it said, remember all the things you have now that you wanted back then. And I think that's the thing, especially as like an artist, and also myself working in the entertainment industry, you're so focused on the next gig, the next job, the next show, the next costume, the next song.
That's right.
Even when obviously, you know, you do all your rapping, when I've been singing, I've found sometimes I'm like thinking about the next song I'm about to sing, or I'm like, or the next costume, or the, you know, where you.
That's right.
And that's part and parcel of who you are. So I think this, like you say, exactly, this lockdown has almost been a pause Like it's a time to, you need, like you say, sit your ass down and
Yeah, yeah. It's a wake up call. You know, it's a wake up call for sure. Most
yeah.
def.
How is it juggling being a dad and being this, like, you know, international like dance techno group? Do they understand as well, like how big, you know, like not just you as a soloist doing the things you do, but 2UNLIMITED in your career?
For sure.
Do they have, how does it sit with them?
No, I mean, especially with my oldest son, he's 24, so he kind of experienced the whole, you know, the whole way through 2UNLIMITED. My kids now, my daughter, she's almost 17, my son is almost 8. So they're kind of young, but of course they know. But like my son, he really experienced. So he went to the concerts. That time we were on TV every day. So as a young kid, he grew up with this kind of things. And, you know, he's an artist now too. He's working on his album, you know, producing with him together. Yeah, yeah. So he's kind of inspired by that kind of thing. But I mean, you know, even 2UNLIMITED is, you know, is a thing that it's a legendary thing. Not only because I say it, because, you know, it's part of the music history, and I'm proud of this. And you know, it's still banging. You know, normally you still go to the '90s shows, and everybody be like, "Oh, man, that was the music I grew up with," and you know, was in the club, or you know. So that's a blessing. You know, that's a good blessing, my man.
Yeah. Well, the thing is to have your music, it's very rare nowadays. I think I'm so happy, and anyone that's probably watching this in the comments, that I was so blessed to have a dad and a mum that brought me up listening to 80s music and 90s music and appreciating, like, in my opinion, and this is my opinion, that music isn't, I feel like it isn't the same. I do feel like I don't know if it's because we were talking about it yesterday with Doris, that it's so easily available now, the buzz and the excitement of having the tapes and the CDs and waiting for Monday to see the chart. And
no, that's true. I mean, you know, you were talking with 5-Star. I mean, 5-Star was, even like yourself, Michael Jackson was a big inspiration for myself. You know, was my biggest artist that I ever met also in my life. And I met a lot of artists, of course. But, you know, in 5-Star that time, I was still in school because we started in '91. Even like my man Freedom Williams from CNC Music Factory, a good friend of mine. We speak also like weekly and stuff. So, and I was still in school, even Turbo B with Snap, you know, and that was the kind of, you know, I was doing the electric boogie break dance. I was into rap, but then those guys came up, you know, and there was kind of experience. And then with the Michael Jackson. So for me, it was a whole mix, you know, nowadays when we do the costumes and, you know, it's all inspired by Michael Jackson. And 5-Star is, man, that's legendary. Blessed that you spoke with him. You know, but you know, I don't want to sound like an old man, but of course it's totally different now because the music is so fast, you know. But you know, like I say, there's not many people now who bring out records like all the rap artists, and you know, DMX, that's a legend, you know, RIP to him. But I'm saying, like, all the artists that are now, except the big ones, you know, No Limit is already like almost 30 years ago. And I think in 30 years, people still can listen to it because it's so universally, and you know, so the music that we did in the '90s, it was like Hathaway, Snap, or Technotronic, or all those cats together. They really put something down. It's evergreens, you know, like Simon and Art Garfunkel. They are evergreens. But those, you know, because that time when we were in the studio, it was just, you know, vibing. We never thought, oh, we're gonna make money or we have to make a hit. So it came like Motown. It came from the heart. You know, you just put it out, and you know, and nowadays, oh, we have to make the hit, like you say, the next song, and if it don't, but back in the days, the '90s, it was just, we just did what we felt, wrote it down, and it just went, you know. So it was never, of course, after 3 albums, you start thinking because the times changing. So you're gonna, hey, okay, we had 3 hit albums, now we have to create even a better album.
Yeah.
But from the beginning, so nowadays I say it's very good music out there, but it's not like things that. In 20 years, they're still going to say, "What is love?" You know, you don't have a song now that you would say, like, even if it's Selena Gomez or all those artists, you know, it's not music that's going to last forever in the mind. No. And that's the strength of the '90s. You know, that's what I think.
Well, that's the thing. All the songs that you've done, I mean, it's quite comical because I know, like, you obviously, I mean, you had hits in every country, and even now, like your songs are still used on like, I'm sorry, is it the NHL, the NBA sport events in America?
Yeah, NBA.
You know, because
Yeah,
they're
it's sports item. I get ready for this. It's like a sports anthem. You know.
it's mad.
No.
And it's one thing that I love, and I love about, you know, Hadaway and like Corona as well, like and Living Joy and yourselves, and even like the songs that come on now, and you hear that first count of 8, and you go, oh, that's
Yeah.
I get it now and then with the odd song that comes on, and it's only usually because of memories attached to it. It's very rare the actual song itself. You know, you see you on tour, and before you've even appeared on stage, you play that little intro bit before 2UNLIMITED. Let's get ready, and you can almost hear the buzz of the people coming together, and everyone's got a memory attached to it, whether it's a school disco, whether it's the first night they were out with their friends, whether it's in the car, you know.
That's right.
What would you say obviously you've sung the song, you know, you rapped, you've been to all these different countries. What is there a memory for you for your, like, say like the No Limit? Is there a memory that you remember being like, wow, this has gone big. This is huge. Like,
yeah, no, for sure. The funny story about No Limit, we had the album. The second album was finished. You know, first with the album Get Ready, and we finished the album, and then we were on tour in Australia, and we flew to Japan. We had the next show in Tokyo, and this song, this No Limit, this instrumental was there all the time, but we never thought about it. Like, it was like, yeah, it's a nice thing, but you know, we always kept it on the side. Yeah, you know, you have that, and that's how hits are made, because you know, if you make an album yourself or anybody has an album, they never have a favorite. It never will be the favorite song. That will be the big hit.
Yeah,
whoever it is, you know, if you think, you talk to all the artists that you ever, you know, even like you know, even like who are they, like the Village People, or you know, YMCA, they had songs, because I know the guy from Scorpio Music in Paris, Henry Bololo, he signed it and he co-wrote it with them, and it was just a song that we like, yeah, it's a joke, you know, and we whatever, you know. And it's the same thing with No Limit. So on the flight from Australia to Tokyo, from Sydney or whatever it was, we had this demo, you know, we said the Walkman, of course, and we put on that, you know, so we got to do something with the song. And yeah, we wrote the song during that trip. So together with Anita, we wrote the song, and it was like kind of inspired by La Da Dee La Da Da from Crystal Waters, Gypsy Woman.
Yeah.
That, you know, we got that for kind of feel like La Da Dee La Da Da. So it was like, hey, it's got to be something like, and we already had in mind that the album was called No Limit, because 2UNLIMITED, No Limit only made sense, but we didn't have the tune to back up the album name. Yeah. And that's how it got created. And that's, I think we wrote that song in an hour or two, you know. and some songs, yeah, but that's how big songs are created, you know. It's just like, if you don't think about it, you know, because that's what I'm saying, even my son, he's in the studio, yeah, I'm going to be big hit, I'm going to live in LA, you know, rolling. I said, no, don't think about it, just do it. Because that's what I'm saying, the artist creativity of nowadays, you don't think about the money, the BMW, the Rollie, and, you know, and that's where the real thing doesn't come out, you know. And yeah, I think so. There's a funny anecdote about this.
The thing is, some of the biggest hits through the 90s, I mean, Wannabe by the Spice Girls, that was huge. And people said, oh, did you inspire, was it you were in love? And they were like, no, we just sat down and we wrote a song about friendship. We did it on a bit of scrap paper. We had a rough idea, did it in an afternoon. One of their biggest hits. Whereas you say, you get people, it's like they try too hard for a hit, and it just ends up feeling fake. You know,
that's right.
You know, it's like, how did you and like Anita, how did you meet? How did that kind of collaboration happen?
Well, I was I just came out of the army. I used to be a cook, so I started working in a restaurant at the airport, and I hooked up with somebody, and they said, yeah, somebody got a track. It's an instrumental track, and they're looking for MC. So, and so there was some producers from Belgium. So, they invited me and it came together and I wrote a rap on the track and also wrote a chorus for the track for the Get Ready for This. That time they only wanted to have a rap on it. So I said, I wrote a chorus and, I don't know if you want to do something about it with it. And they liked it. So Anita, I knew a little bit from the Amsterdam scene. We're both from Amsterdam. So, when you go out to the clubs and, you know each other.
Yeah.
And I knew she was singing. So she was singing like R&B stuff in the club. So I said, I got this track and, I wrote a chorus and this producer from Belgium. They want to see if I can find a singer who can drop the hook. Yeah. So we went to the studio, very, amateuristic, was nothing professional, and I said, okay, this is the hook. She sang it. I sent the tape back. The guy said, hey, I kind of like it. And then that time, Pete Waterman, because the instrumental was already running in the clubs. And then Pete Waterman from Stock Aitken and Waterman PWL, he had the show Hitman and Her, where they always tested new club songs. And he heard that, he heard the white label. And that was Get Ready for This. So even before we were there, because, they just released it on white vinyl and, just put it into the clubs.
Yeah.
And I think within a month we were number 2 in the UK charts. 3 weeks later I was in the top of the pop. So I throw away my cook hat and I said, I'm gonna go on tour.
Is that right? You were a chef. You tried.
Yeah. I was on school for it. I was studying, and then I went to the army. I was also a sous chef at the for the officers and stuff like this. And then I started to work. I had a nice job at the Schiphol Airport in Amsterdam, the business lounge. And then it all started, And that's why I said, so within a month, I was at the top of the pops. So it was like, coming from the army, going into the kitchen. And then there I am with PWL sitting at the big board and, signing the contracts. And yeah, that was crazy.
It's just phenomenal. I mean, you traveled all over the place and doing the lip. Did you find it easy to because obviously you kind of said it with the music industry, as something is out and it's in the shops or it's being played, you're then working on something else. Were you constantly creating as you were traveling? Were you like or did you have many things, like scraps of paper, or would you find a hook on something, like the dictaphone kind of thing? What was it for you?
Yeah, no, because when we started, when 2UNLIMITED of Get Ready for This came number 2 in the UK chart straight away. Then everything went very quick because I just thought like, now I'm gonna write this rap, lay it up, and get out the kitchen, maybe do some shows, which also happened. We went straight away to Scotland where our first shows were, and the first show we had was a rave. We never rehearsed, we never did anything, so we came to the back door. In this big thing in Scotland, I think it was Edinburgh. And there I am together with 808 State, The Prodigy, which I knew, of course, when I was, because I was following the music. I was into all kind of music from Michael Jackson till, SL2, Raga Trip, all that stuff. And suddenly we came to the thing, it was 8,000 people. And my man said, yo, are you ready for 2UNLIMITED from Amsterdam? And I've been on station before, but it was just like I didn't know what to expect. There were 8,000 ravers.
Yeah.
And it was just we just came after 808 State that I knew from watching Top of the Pops or stuff like this.
Yeah.
And the people went bananas, and then it just went up. We had to finish, so we had to finish the album. They sent us tracks, and so all the time we're traveling. I was most of the time living in London because that's where everything was happening. Top of the Pops, smash hits, all that stuff. So together with, of course, my people from Take That, Robbie, and E17. That I also still got contact with the people, with those guys, and so Kylie Minogue, that era. So you just came into suddenly you are a teen pop star and you do smash hits and daily Zig and Zag and all those English programs. So it happened really like after a year I was so comfortable, like, okay, this is my life. It was not even surprised, but it was just okay, we're just going. Okay, next album, next hit. And then suddenly all countries came, and then the whole world came, and then it was, so it was crazy.
You've had like a top thing in a hit in every single country, like.
Yeah.
It's, I mean,
I think No Limit was like 34 countries #1 at the same time. So, you know, that's
I mean,
something that's crazy.
your concert, it was the three. I wasn't there. God, I would have loved it, but it was the three, that five. Is it 538 through 538 live XXL?
Yeah, the radio station, 538.
And like she had the crown on. You had all the dancers and people on there. It was. I mean, how do
Oh,
you?
that was Queen's Day. Yeah, that was Queen's Day
Yes.
in Amsterdam. Yeah, yeah.
How?
Yeah, there was like, I don't know, over 100,000 people up there. That was crazy.
Oh, this one thing I was going to ask, because I mean, I'm like, I sing, I don't rap. I've been asked to rap in a song, which we won't go there. But how do you, like, do you have, I mean, do you still get nervous? Do you have moments where, I mean, when you sing songs enough and you rap it, do you ever, I mean, well, I think one of the questions someone asked, which we'll get to in a minute, someone said, have you ever forgotten, like, lyrics? Have you ever gone, oh God, I've forgotten it.
Oh yeah, probably forgotten sometimes, but you know, and I do get nervous because you know the stage, that's the adrenaline. It's just like
Yeah.
if you don't get nervous before the show, it's not going to be a good show. I had a couple of times that it was like, okay, you know what, let me smash this thing and you know have a couple of pints with my boys at the bar afterwards or whatever. But those were probably the shows where I forget my text, you know.
Yeah.
But you gotta have that, you know, even if you're a soccer player, you go to the field, you're standing in the tunnel, it's the same kind of feeling, you know. You want to score, and you want to get out on the field and just, you know, smack that goal. And
yeah,
and you're so always nervous. I mean, that's the exciting thing about it, you know.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. I always say that when I've always said it to myself, the day I ever step on stage and I feel comfortable, I know I shouldn't be doing it anymore. I think part of being any kind of artist, whether it's a rapper, a singer, a DJ, a dancer, creative person, anything, if you haven't got those butterflies, that because it's such a vulnerable position, which some people will never experience, of being on a stage, having everybody looking at you.
That's right.
You can say anything. You're like, hi, you know.
Yeah, that's right.
Have you got like a top? Obviously, you've performed all over the world, but have you got like a place in your head, like a couple of places that you're like, this was phenomenal, like a place where you felt that kind of euphoria of this is amazing, like?
Yeah, no, I must say, I mean, of course, we did a lot of award shows. You know, we did World Music Awards Monte Carlo, which is like, of course, yeah, a real big thing. But if you talk about parts of the world, I mean, the UK was very important for us because the UK, you know, I remember we used to travel and we didn't even have a shower in the room because we just started up, you know. And so we went, you know, so we were in the bus and going to Blackpool and going to Bournemouth and, you know, all the raves and, you know. Yeah. Man, I think I've been in more places in England than you, man. I think I've been all around this place. That's how we started in the beginning. I was just touring in England, and then the world came, of course, and then suddenly you fly business class, you got security next to you, you got everything arranged. It's like, okay, you know, so it went very fast, especially with No Limits. Then it really went like, you know, Champions League. Yeah. You know, it went straight to the roof, and then it was just like, then you're next in the charts in the top 5 with Madonna, Michael Jackson, and whoever, U2. So then the whole thing changed. But coming from Amsterdam, I think I was always like with my feet on the ground. Of course, we flew a little bit sometimes, but you know, Dutch people are quite sober.
Yeah.
You know, I think if you're from the States, it's a totally different ball game. Because I remember Mariah Carey came to a show and she got 8 bodyguards, and I'm like, come on.
No.
You don't need so. You know, it's all different. You know, we're from Europe, so it's more like, okay, yeah, cool, man. You know, you talk with everybody. It's, you know, want a photo? Oh, no problem. So it's a different, and I'm blessed to this because that's why you stay with your feet on the ground. You know, so that's good.
I was going to say to you, one thing I've admired with you and seeing your videos and your interviews, like from researching about, because obviously I know 2UNLIMITED as a group, as you know, as a production of songs, but actually it's been nice to kind of research and like finding out like you're a chef, like that, and all the interviews, I have to say, and even chatting to you on Instagram in our messages, you are so humble and you can tell you're very grounded. Do you think that is just because from, you know, your upbringing? Because it does go to your head. A lot of people, it does, as you said, it goes to their head and they think they're God, you know.
Yeah, no, of course. You know, I met a lot of people. I think that maybe had one or two hits and already think they're the king of the world.
Yeah.
You know, it's also the purpose. You know, I started out different than maybe a lot of artists. You know, with a different purpose. You know,
Yeah.
because for me it was like, okay, I got in contact with the right people. And you know, for me, I would never say it's only me. It's the producer, it's Anita. It's the magic that came together. You know,
Yeah.
and without the magic, it cannot happen. You can write as many hits as you want. And what is a hit? You know, if anybody of us would know what a hit is, then we would be all billionaires. You know, so
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, so it's a feeling. It's a feeling, and it's like bringing people together, and that's what happened with 2UNLIMITED. The right people came in the right places, and the magic just came. And even my producer Phil Wild, who made most of the music,
Yeah.
he was a fan of Queen, so he's a musician. So that's why he came with all these anthems for the Eurodance songs. You know, and then of course you got Anita with a beautiful voice and the hooks that stick in your head, and then the kind of the techno, the bomb stick in the ball, you know, the
Yeah.
things that stay in your head, and those things are just. I was not thinking about what I'm gonna put, what kind of ad lib. No, you go in the studio, put the music, and just freestyle and whatever sounds right, and then it's a techno that comes out. Okay, and it works, and it's so it's all from the heart. You know, so it's nothing is fake.
No.
You know, and that's why it's also, in these kind of days, because I work in the studio a lot with young guys also, and they have a different perspective. So, they think too much what they're gonna write, and I think a lot of the rappers like DMX, for example, when he was in the studio, I know so many of those rappers like JC, and they don't write nothing down. They go in the studio. Tupac was doing I was working in the studio in Echo Sound in LA, where he was also recording that time. I met him there also. And those guys are just go in the studio, and it's just, the smoke or whatever they do, and they they just blast it out. And it's from the heart. Look at Motown. It was songs.
Yeah.
That's. I wish there was more like this, so it would be more positive vibe all around.
I know, but then I suppose it's a great thing, because I think that type of music and that era of music, although it's not as round as much now, it's almost untouchable, and it's proven because obviously your music is still played in clubs, still played at festivals, still played at Pride, and it's every kind of audience, whether it's the younger, even in the schools, because it probably makes you feel old. It makes me feel old when kids say to me, "This is hilarious, right? I'll tell you this." So I did a dance class. It must have been last year, just before lockdown, and I put on. It was I can't remember what the girl group was, but it was a girl group song. I think it was like Girls Aloud or something, like a British girl group. And this kid came over and went, "Oh my God, this song is like ancient. They're like old school." And I was like, "They're really not old school." They were talking to me as if it was like from 1920.
Yeah, that's right.
Your music, because I think the parents listen to it, the children listen to it, and it's nice because it passes on, and it comes down through the generations of music, which is nice.
That's right.
Is nice. What they was going to ask you from a personal point of view is how your costumes I loved, because I'm very much like, the music's great, the light, the sound, but your costumes, when you said about Michael Jackson, being a fan of Michael Jackson, there's a lot of it was a regimented outfit you had with the yellow strap, and it was very Michael Jackson. Do you design them, or do you have someone that designs your costumes? How does that work?
No. Well, from the beginning, from the start, I was always involved with the costumes, because I have a certain vision, like I said, and it's really Michael Jackson. Yeah. It's like I went to the concert in '87, I think, in Rotterdam. At with my mom, we didn't have the tickets. And there were guys outside of the stadium, selling the tickets, of course, for 3 times the price. Probably like 200 quid that time. And that time, 200 quid was like, But, so, and for me, it was like, I love the music from Michael Jackson, but for me, I was so obsessed by the outfits, and that's why I said, I was always like, if I'm going to perform ever, I will make sure you will never see me in a jeans or a t-shirt. I'm not a hip hop guy,
Yeah.
I love hip hop, but it's not, I want to bring a show.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say I'm the, I'm not gonna say I'm the best rapper in the world. I'm an entertainer. P Diddy, he's not the best rapper, but he knows how to flaunt it. And he's an entertainer.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So for me, if it's like if I'm gonna do a show, it's got to be flashy.
Yeah.
It's got to be leather. It's got to be bling bling. It's got to, because you're bringing a show,
Yeah.
and that's why it was totally Michael Jackson that I get inspiration from.
Yeah.
As a little kid, I was watching and said, if I'm ever going to perform, and I was never thinking about performing. I was doing talent shows, of course, and in a dance group and Electric Boogie. But I always thought, like, if I'm going to do something, then what's going to be, I want it to look like this.
Yeah.
Fireworks, lights, fashion. That's very important,
Yeah.
Because people come for the show.
You're a performer, you want people to remember it, and it is. I think that's well. It's the, it's the part of the parcel. It's the show as itself. How is that? How the hair started as well? Because you used to shave the name of the single.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, no, there was always the name in it, and there was just more the influence, more like the hip hop, because I was listening to, I was listening to Public Enemy, L Cool J, right? So my youth was so big, such a big. My father listened to Sam Cooke. My mom was more the Rolling Stones, and I was doing the Electric Boogie. And I love reggae. I'm from Amsterdam, so what we do in the coffee shop, listen to reggae, Jimmy Cliff, and so all this kind of things inspire me with everything. So maybe I got a whole mix of everything. The hip hop, I got the stripes and put the names in it. The braids is the reggae thing. So it's all mixed up. So it's a universal thing. I'm Dutch. I was born in Amsterdam, born and raised, and I live in Germany now and have in Spain, but for me, I feel like international, so yeah, you can put me anything everywhere in the world. And,
Amsterdam is beautiful. I went to Amsterdam, not last October, the October before, and I've been a couple of times, but it was beautiful. If it was warmer all year round, it would be the perfect place to live. But it was,
for sure.
It was. I've got to say, with the shaving of the name in the head, I remember going to school once, and I tried to get I think it was my mum to shave something. It just looked like a toothbrush. It didn't look good. But I need to ask you some questions. So, right, I asked some people some questions. So, some people wrote some questions, obviously in a different language. I had to Google Translate because I was like, I don't want to ask you something, I don't know what I'm asking you. So we've got, because how many languages do you speak?
Yeah, I speak like 5 languages.
Wow,
yeah. So Spanish, German, Dutch, English, of course, and Suriname. I have Suriname and have Dutch. My father's from Suriname. Yeah, so 5 languages. Wow. Trying to get the Japanese in, but that's kind of hard,
Yeah, yeah, that's mad because it's there was an interview I saw of you on YouTube, and you were speaking in English, but you might remember it. Someone was translating you to talk to the presenter, and then they were translating the presenter to then talk back to you. It was you and Anita, and it was like 2 different translations going on, and I was like, surely the presenter, you would think they would be able to speak, they wouldn't need a translator, but you were sat there and you're like.
That's funny.
It was good. So you have got a very big fan you've probably got many fans on here, but one of my best friends is a huge fan of yours. When I toured with her, me and her were in a dance singing group together, and she probably likes and comments on your stuff. Her name's Vicky Lee.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah.
She's a phenomenal girl. And
I do, Vicky. Yeah, she's sending all the time nice videos, working out, and something. Yes.
It's an unlimited workout in her kitchen. Like me, she's not working, and she's done all she can to try and keep active and keep and stuff. So she actually asked. She says hi to you. She went, I absolutely adore you, Ray. She says, what is your best memory of the 90s, and can she come and dance for you when you come to England?
Well, to answer the first question, I mean, well, there's so many nice memories, man. It's hard to pick one out, but yeah, for me it would be like, you know, starting out in the game with "Get Ready for This," which is still, you know, "Get Ready for This" is still my favorite song. Even though the No Limit was the even more bigger hit, but "Get Ready for This" got some magical stuff, you know, even when you do it on the show, it's like that. I mean, it's just like, you know, the whole stadium just goes up. And yeah, so I think just the start in the whole 90s, you know, the 90s was such a beautiful time. And I'm lucky that I grew up with this, because sometimes I see my kids from now and I say, "Oh, you got a boring life, man. You're all the time on your phone, and oh, so tiring." And we really had a blast in the 90s, you know.
Yeah.
Except from doing the 2UNLIMITED, but just the whole time was just a magical time. And yeah, so I wish a lot of that my kids would also experience it, because it's not all about the phone, the Instagram, the Facebook. Of course, it belongs in this world now. But you know, we had more fantasy. We had more boundaries that we could cross, and you know, and yeah. So that's
set a bar. I do believe that you set a bar for dance techno music, and knowing that it's not necessarily, like you say, all about having the most amazing producers and this and this. It was just about the passion that you had to create a song and music and an album that people could put on, dance to, feel your passion and enjoy.
Yeah,
and it's still
that's true.
So
yeah, and Vicky, yeah, you know, to answer your second question, you know, my dancers, they are so urging to, you know, get back on stage again. We heard, you know, I know that England is going open quick. We got a couple of shows in option, so hopefully we're gonna be in England soon, Denmark, and Canada. Hopefully, you know, everything works out good. And Vicky, for sure, I'm gonna invite you to the show when we're in England, and you know, you just jump on stage with us, whatever. Let's go. I see you got skills, so you know.
Well, there you go, Vic. That'll make
And you too, of course, Jay. You know, I invite you both, and you come to the show, and we're gonna party.
Oh, definitely, 100%, mate. This one is the longest Instagram name I've ever seen, and it said something. Richard Les Alteransoblius, something like that. Said, "Will there be a physical release for the 30th anniversary?"
Yeah, no, well, you know, because this year it is the 30th anniversary, and exactly on the 16th of September was when Get Ready for This was released. So it's 30 years, and we had big plans. You know, we would do a whole world tour with live band and all that stuff. So you know, that kind of broke it up for us. But we definitely are working on some stuff because you know, the 30-year anniversary, it's a big thing for me also. Feeling old, but still there. So, you know, so of course we're going to do something, remixes. I mean, maybe even a new song. We have to check out where we're going to go. I had a lot of time to be creative in those times. You know, I'm always creative, always writing, always doing stuff.
Yeah.
So, you know, as soon as we can roll, we're going to celebrate the 30-year anniversary of 2UNLIMITED, and, you know, we will come with some surprises.
Yeah. You need to do a rap for lockdown. You need to do a lockdown rap.
That's right.
Lina92 says, "Have you ever wanted to do an ultimate collaboration with anybody, past or present?"
Yeah. Yeah, coming to Michael Jackson again, but you know, that's kind of cliche. But a lot of artists, and of course, if we're going to talk about 2UNLIMITED, it would be great to, you know, to work with one of the DJs right now. I mean, I know David Guetta from back in the days when we just started.
Yeah.
And there's so many good. Of course, in Holland we have a lot of talented DJs, as you know. You know, Chesto, Armin van Buuren. You know, so. Yeah, for sure. I would like to work with some DJs. DJ Snake is for me #1 at the moment. You know, he's doing big things, and I like his style. So, you know, if for present, I would say for 2UNLIMITED, you know, we're talking with some people. So, you know, you never know what's coming out.
Yeah. Well, I would say that. Thank you so much for doing this with me. I at the end of every chat I have with people, I do a little it's like a choose game. So I'm gonna give you 2 options, and you got to pick.
Okay.
One. So. Are you ready? Mr. Ray from 2UNLIMITED. So, tape cassette or CD?
Yeah, tape cassette.
Yes. 80s or the 90s?
Yeah, you know, we talked about it just now, but I would say 80s, because that's where I got inspired to do the shit in the 90s.
Yeah. I love that. I know it's good. Good motto. Are you a beer or a spirit kind of guy?
Then more beer. Yeah.
Beer. Well, I think you answered no limit or get ready.
Get ready for this, yeah.
Touring or recording?
No, touring.
Touring. Festival or a club?
Festival.
You're doing well. Snoop
But I
Dogg.
love the club too. I mean, I love the club. I mean, it can be 500 people and I still do my thing. So, you know, it's all
Yeah.
good.
Snoop Dogg or Dr. Dre?
Dr. Dre.
Oh, it's right. Sunrise or sunset?
Sunrise, because it's another day.
And not, yeah, like that. From your chef days, what is your favorite piece de la resistance? Favorite dish to cook? What were you going to do to impress everyone? What would you cook?
It will be something Asian.
Nice. And are you a dessert kind of person as well? You good at dessert?
No, not really. I mean, I started to be to make bread and cakes and all that stuff, but you know, sometimes I make it. But for me, I really like the spicy stuff. So
Yeah.
you know, like tonight we're gonna cook up some Thai food, some you know some spicy stuff, and that's what I love. So you know,
I love Thai, Indian curry, love it all. Oh, it's
yeah,
nice.
man.
And the last question is, what is, have you got like, how to explain, like a life's motto, a motto that you would like, a bit of advice for anybody? So like yesterday, Doris said, which was lovely, she just said, just to give it a try, whatever it is, give it a try. Loads of people have said different things. So what would you say is your life's motto?
Yeah, I would say live your life to the fullest.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think that's everything. Because everything you're trying to do or you want to do, or you know, just live to the fullest. So you know, just try. As Doris would say, just live to the fullest and go wherever you think you need to go.
Yeah.
You'll be all right.
And I think that's especially with what's happened. I think hopefully even people watching this, it's made people evaluate things, what is important, what really isn't, what, you know, and I'm so humble, like, you know, you taking your time to do this with me, sat in my flat in England, and, you know, everyone doing their bit just to kind of create a little bit more happiness. So thank you
For sure.
for doing this. And like I say, when you come to England, I'll buy you a beer. I don't drink beer.
Case.
I'll buy you a beer. I'll have a glass of water.
No, that's cool, man. For sure, you know, we keep each other posted, and for sure, if I know that we're in England, I invite you, and you know, come to the show. I can't wait, you know, because I want to go.
No, yes, I can't. I just want to go out. Well, look, good luck with your stuff. So, most people on here follow you anyway, but as well, your son, has he got a page or anything people can look at his work, or?
Sorry.
So your son's making music, you said.
Yeah. He's on Ray Beasy, so I also take him sometime. We're gonna make a video in a couple of weeks. We're working on the album.
A little collab.
Yes.
Just the two.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yes.
I will send you the link from him. So no, just Jay. Thanks a lot. Enjoy the weekend. All the people out there was watching.
No,
Peace and love, and hope we're gonna see each other soon.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Ray.
Yeah.
Stay safe.
Thanks, Jay. Appreciate it, my brother.
Take care.
Power.
Bye bye.
Ciao, man.